my channel. Things look a little different around here. I am so happy to introduce you to my daughter. This is Violet Dorothy Friendly. She was born on March 28th at 5:36 p.m. She was 7 pounds, 8 ounces, and 22 inches long. Life has been the biggest whirlwind ever since in the best possible way. I will try not to cry in this video, but I make no promises. It's hard to explain how it feels to have a baby, even though it is so chaotic and like every day is different and nights feel like a whole other day. It's just the best and it's so special, and I feel so lucky and so grateful that I get to experience this at all. I wanted to walk you through our birth story and just get it out, and I don't want to ever forget it. I don't want to forget anything. It's one of the reasons why I started vlogging again this year, just because I think this is such an amazing, beautiful season of life to document and just remember forever and have these home videos of our family. I feel like all the things that I pictured for us, for myself and my husband, are coming true. Just walks as a family and going out to eat together and cooking at home together in our slow mornings, snuggled up and with our dog. Oh my gosh, our dog has been so obsessed with Violet. He's so curious. When he goes out for a walk and he'll come back, he just comes up to her, sniffs her, gives her head a little kiss. Like, he is just the sweetest boy, and so excited to have her here with us. And she is 11 days old today. I can't believe it's already been almost 2 weeks. Let me start at the beginning. So I think I may have posted a vlog either the day before or the day that I went into labor, which was Wednesday, March 27th. I believe I'd been having contractions throughout the day, but not super noticeably. And then at around 7:30, I lost my mucus plug, which was interesting. No bloody show or anything, just the mucus plug, and then the contractions started coming a little bit more noticeably. So my husband and I went out for our evening walk with our dog, and I remember having to stop and like breathe through what felt like, you know, period cramp kind of things. And then my mom actually landed in town that night. I swear this little girl was just waiting for her grandma, because as soon as my mom landed, that's when the contractions really started. That was around 9:30, and we tried to go to bed at around 10:30, and I just couldn't. It was too much pain in my back. It didn't start out painful for sure. It was just like a lot of pressure. And let me preface this by saying I have chronic back injuries. I used to be a professional dancer. I broke my back when I was 18. I had bulging discs throughout my back and neck for several years. And though I had healed them, pregnancy obviously brought up a lot of that pain just because it was extra weight and I couldn't work out the same way and all that stuff. So I had back labor, which is more common if your baby is facing a certain way. I think if they're sunny side up, you may have more back labor. She was in position just fine, and I still had back labor. So in any case, contractions started to be about 7 to 10 minutes apart every 7 to 10 minutes at 10 p.m. And I just went out into the living room. I didn't want to bother my husband. So I watched the Eras Tour. I specifically saved the Eras Tour movie on Disney Plus for when I was in labor, because I knew it would calm me and make me happy. And I just hung out in the living room, and by 1 o'clock, the contractions were 3 to 4 minutes apart and lasting about 15 to 25, 30 seconds each. So I called my doctor at 1 a.m. and he said, if things continue at this rate and consistency, go to the hospital in an hour. So at 2 a.m., I wake up my husband. We make sure everything's in our hospital bag. I'd packed that weeks ago, so most of it was already ready. We headed over there. I got into triage at about 3 a.m. They checked how dilated I was. By this point, the contractions were very painful. We were admitted into the hospital. I was 3 centimeters dilated. We got into the hospital into our delivery room at 5 a.m. I really wanted to try to go without an epidural. I have a lot of PTSD around epidurals. I received one many years ago, again, for my back injuries, and it was very painful for me. It didn't even work back when I got it. So I was a bit afraid of that, to be honest, almost more afraid of the epidural than the labor. I was just in so much pain, and I hadn't slept, obviously. I don't even think we slept the 2 nights before this, but I just needed to rest, and I knew I was in for a long day. So I got the epidural around, I want to say 7 a.m. and then I was finally able to relax. We watched Buying Beverly Hills in the hospital, and my experience with the epidural this time was, it was definitely really hard. I have a unique experience because of my injuries, so I don't think anyone watching this should expect their epidural to be such a hard part of their labor. The one thing, and I give this advice to every mom that I know who's about to give labor, please eat before you go to the hospital. I don't care what time you're going into labor. I did not get to eat for over 36 hours. And I'm not a doctor, but they tell you not to eat once you have an epidural and an IV. Anyway, we were watching TV. I tried to take like a 45-minute nap, and truth be told, the day just goes by so fast. Time does not exist. It is now almost 9:15 and we've been at the hospital since 3 a.m. The time has flown by. I'm so tired. We literally didn't sleep last night because contraction started at 7:30. I guess we're just running on adrenaline, but we're gonna have a baby today, I think. How are you feeling?
Tired, but good.
We had something scary happen around like 1 or 2 p.m. I rolled over to switch sides, and as soon as I switched, her heart rate started rapidly dropping, and 12 nurses come rushing in. They bring in a cart to do an emergency surgery, and I was like, what is going on? I was absolutely panicking. I've heard from so many people that this has happened to them too. The nurses and doctors are so prepared for anything. It's wild. I also had the best nurses. I gave birth at Cedars-Sinai. Anyway, they kept me calm as possible. Long story short, they were able to get her heart rate back up to a normal place because I flipped back over. I thought I was gonna start pushing at 2 o'clock, and so I called my mom and told her to come to the hospital. I didn't start pushing until about 3:30. And it was so hard because I was so hungry and so tired. But I pushed for about 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And then my doctor was at his office, so he still needed to get to the hospital in Thursday rush hour traffic, which if you live in LA, you know that is so not ideal. So I had to stop pushing and just wait. I was trying to let the epidural come down so that I could feel my body more. I had a friend recommend that to me because I have a really strong like mind-body connection because I'm so active and from dance and all that. My back pain was flaring up so badly that I pressed the epidural again, which was a huge pain relief. Like it was 100% worth it doing that to me. And then my doctor finally got there at about 4:30 and it was time to push again. Fun fact, we listened to Folklore and Evermore while we were waiting. And then I decided to push to Reputation. I felt like that was energizing. Pushing took about an hour. It's such an interesting experience, to be honest, because I had the epidural, I literally couldn't feel anything, but because of that, you don't really know what you're doing and if it's right, but somehow your body just takes over and it does it right. And again, you have the nurses and doctor coaching you. You just do it. Like women are freaking superheroes. They're amazing. I have so much respect, newfound respect for all moms. And then the third scary thing was they found meconium, which is essentially like she took a poo while she was in me, and while she's coming out, if she inhales that, it can be a really big problem. Again, more doctors came in. They were ready to do what they needed to do. It was very scary. She came out and was not breathing. So I had a very few requests in my birth plan because I know that nothing can be planned in advance, and like you need to do what's best for the health of you and your baby in that moment, and you just don't know what's gonna happen. I wanted delayed cord clamping and skin to skin immediately, and we couldn't do either of those. And that was really scary in the moment. Again, I didn't even care that I couldn't do them. It was just the fact that I couldn't hold her. They took her to get weighed, and the doctors were trying to get her to breathe, and then they were able to bring her over to me, and we like touched cheeks, and then finally they could put her on me, and she's here. And she's healthy. And we had another whirlwind. We ended up going to the hospital for 24 hours for jaundice monitoring. Her levels were really high last week. So she and I spent the night at the hospital, and that treatment worked so quickly for her. Even though I'm sleep deprived and we're trying to get used to our new routine, there is no such thing as a routine this early, but somewhat of a flow. Every day is different, but so beautiful. Her umbilical cord fell off, so we started to do tummy time yesterday. We'll be able to give her a bath either today or tomorrow. My mom is here for a full month, so I know how privileged and lucky I am to have her here. She has been a huge help, so we take shifts. My husband does the late night, my mom does the 1:30-ish, I do the 4:30-ish, and my husband does the first morning feeding. And this little munchkin is just the best thing that ever happened. I feel so lucky. If you don't know our story about getting pregnant in the first place and my fertility journey, that is the first vlog of 2024. She is our miracle, and I can't believe that we have her, that we made her, and that she's here. In terms of feedings, just for transparency and because I think it's so important for other moms to know and to hear this, I am having a hard time breastfeeding her. So my milk has come in, she's not latching. We are going to see a lactation consultant this week. Otherwise, I'm pumping. So every 3 hours, through the night, all that. And then we're supplementing with formula. For me, fed is best. I do not think that there should be this crazy pressure on moms to do it all and to do what isn't working for them. Like, every single person is so different. Every single baby and pregnancy and labor and all the things, it's so different. So if you are also having trouble breastfeeding, or if you did, and there's no need to feel any guilt, it's 2024. Formula these days is amazing. I was actually raised on formula, so was my brother. I feel like we're pretty great, but I have no problem doing what we need to do to get her fed. I'm very grateful that I'm able to pump, but for those that can't, you know, it's no big deal. Fed is best. That's where we're at, and it's just been the craziest 11 days. Alex is already such a good dad. It's so amazing seeing him with her. I just feel very blessed. So I wanted to share all this with you. I hope it's helpful in some way if you are a new mom also, or you're about to give birth. So much goodness is to come. I wish I could tell my 37-week pregnant self that everything is going to be just fine. We have everything we need to raise this baby and make it work. Things look so different now, but in the best way. There's just so much more to come. So thank you for watching, and maybe she'll be awake in the next video. I don't know, but we'll be back very soon.